As part of the far right's anti-woke crusade, one of the things that they started doing, and this is very ironic, is banning books. It's hilarious because the argument against the far left is that, hey, you guys are petty, you guys are censorious, you guys are authoritarian, you guys don't want to hear any opinions that don't coincide with your own. And then the right's reaction to that is to be the mirror image, is to be authoritarian on the other side. And they started banning books. Now, of course, they claim we're just going after basically obscene materials, basically pornography in school libraries or whatever. This is what they claim. But it's not true. We've covered a number of stories where there are these totally benign books about loving everybody, about, not seeing arbitrary differences between people. There's something about a unicorn. We've covered them. You can go back in the Secular Talk library. You can see the sort of books that they've been banning. And really what it boils down to is anything that doesn't coincide with their own conservative political opinions, they want gone. Anything that references in any way, shape, or form gay people, trans people. I mean, again, even if it's not sexual, they're still like, you're grooming our kids, you're, politically influencing them, indoctrinating them, ban it. This is what they've been doing. Well, guess what? One of these laws has now backfired in a hilarious and glorious way. This is in BBC News. Utah primary schools ban the Bible for vulgarity and violence. This is like the one book that they don't want banned. And now enforcing the law that they wrote. It's like, okay, well, we got to ban it. Hey, we don't want to run afoul of the law here that you guys wrote. So this is, of course, in school libraries. Let me give you what they say. A school district in the U.S. state of Utah has removed the Bible from elementary and middle schools for containing vulgarity and violence. The move follows a complaint from a parent that the King James Bible has material unsuitable for children. You don't say. Utah's Republican government passed a law in 2022 banning pornographic or indecent books from schools. Most of the books that have been banned so far pertain to topics such as sexual orientation and identity, as I just told you guys, because that's really what they're gunning for. That's what they want gone. The banning of the Bible comes amid a larger effort by U.S. conservatives in states to ban teachings on controversial topics such as LGBT rights and racial identity. Bans on certain books deemed offensive are also in place in Texas, Florida, Missouri, and South Carolina. Some liberal states have also banned books in some schools and libraries, citing perceived racially offensive content. I remember the debates when they were talking about, what was it, Huckleberry Finn or something? They used the N-word in it, and so they wanted it out because of that. It's all dumb. As a general rule, if you're on the side of banning a book, you're wrong. You can buy a copy of Mein Kampf. You want to know why? Because not everybody who reads Mein Kampf is reading it and going, this guy was awesome. You're reading it for historical facts about one of the most evil villains in history. That's how normal people read that book. So should you ban it because it's got bad stuff in it? Because Hitler was evil? We're not children. I mean, in this case, they're kids. They're literally children. But even in these instances, what are we really talking about here? Do we have to protect kids in a massive safe space from any and all ideas that they dislike or that are genuinely bad ideas? We got the internet nowadays too, bro. Kids are seeing more stuff than you can ever imagine. When I was a kid, the first time you ever saw a naked person was on a nudie magazine that was hidden in a forest under a rock behind a tree. Now, I bet these young kids are clearly getting around whatever sort of parental controls there are and seeing things at God knows what age. You think you're protecting them by banning books from a school library? The Utah decision was made this week by the Davis School District north of Salt Lake City after a complaint filed in December 2022. Officials say they have already removed 7 or 8 copies of the Bible they had on their shelves, noting that the text was never part of students' curriculum. Look, in this country, we correctly have separation of church and state. That's good. That's a positive thing because you don't want indoctrination into a fundamentalist religion. That would be very, very bad for the country. However, every reasonable person should be okay with the school library having the Bible, the Quran, the Hadith, the Bhagavad Gita, right? Like, go down the list. You can learn about religion, and you should learn about religions, plural. That's fine. It just can't be taught as if this is the one truth. This is the one way of life. This is the way you need to be part of this cult, part of this group, part of this insular sect. That's the problem. So you can teach about religion, totally fine, put the books in the libraries, but you can't have a class where you're imposing religion on people. That's the bottom line. But again, the reason why, you're going to love this, because it's kind of true. The reason why this was banned, because they passed a law, said no vulgarity, no violence in the classroom. And then people decided, well, there are some spicy-ass passages in the Bible. Do you guys know the story of Lot in the Bible? Well, it culminates with Lot and his daughters thinking that they're the only people left on earth. And so his daughters decide, we're going to try to get his ass drunk so we can rape him and have kids. Daughters raped their own drunk father. And that's not the only part of the Bible that includes rape. That's not the only part. So we got incest, we got rape, we got all sorts of debauchery, Sodom and Gomorrah. You want to go learn about Sodom and Gomorrah and what was going on over there? You want the genocide that's all throughout the Bible? You want to go take a look at it? So look, let me be clear about my position. I don't think the Bible should be banned. I don't think the Quran or the Bhagavad Gita or any of these books should be banned. I think they should all be allowed in the library. That's totally fine. But this is their own censorious, authoritarian attempts backfiring on them. That's what this is. That's what this is. They wanted to take out all the LGBTQ stuff. And what do you know? Because of how we worded the law, it turns out the most vulgar, the most violent book that there is actually the one we cherish the most and we think is the literal Word of God. Careful what you wish for. You just might get it. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.